Hi, I'm Harry Sullivan in the WVLT newsroom. We do thank you for joining us. Just wanted to give you an update on everything happening overseas in Ukraine at this hour. We do want to take you live to Kiev. You can see there about 5:30 in the evening. They're about 7 hours ahead of us as night starts to approach in Kiev, Ukraine, with everything going on, including that Russian invasion, of course. This is happening in New York right now, where the United Nations is holding an emergency security meeting. This is the ambassador to the UN from Ukraine who is currently speaking at this hour. We did want to show you about what's being done here in East Tennessee. We've heard a lot of people reach out saying, how can I help against Russia? How can I help the Ukrainian people right now with everything happening? Our Ashley Boley found out a bunch of things happening here in East Tennessee, including a rally happening downtown.
People fill Market Square.
Certainly appreciate everybody that's coming out and supporting.
Hoping for peace.
We're going to stop Russian politicians.
Born and raised in Ukraine, Adam Kulinich has been living in Knoxville for the past decade, but his heart is with Ukraine.
We've been independent for 30 years, and Ukrainians wants to be Ukrainians. They have their language and their nation.
He joined others in waving flags and holding signs. All of them have one goal in mind: to help stop the war in Ukraine.
It makes me feel proud about the whole world gathering together against the war.
Protests like this are going on across the world, even in Russia.
We have a lot of Russian friends that we absolutely love. There's been a lot of support to us, and we have nothing against Russian people.
Varya Molina is Russian but lives in the U.S.
Our people, it's one people. I don't support the Putin's politics.
People chant glory to Ukraine.
I love my country. I just can't accept what's going on with one madman who is in power.
They have one message.
We don't want to fight. Ukraine never wanted to fight. We always wanted to keep peace and be Ukraine.
In downtown Knoxville, Ashley Boley, WVLT News.
Another thing going on is a downtown gay street deli, Pachki Deli, hasn't even officially opened its doors yet. They're already jumping in, giving back to the people of Ukraine. The owners say the space was ready to go. They just hadn't officially opened their door, and they'd actually spent some time in Ukraine. They have family and friends there. They said this about opening up their doors early and serving a Ukrainian specialty with all that money going back to people in Ukraine.
It makes me feel amazing because I'm texting my friends there every morning, and they're telling me about looking out their window and seeing explosions. And I just felt like we couldn't sit here and not do anything.
It pains us to sit and watch this unfold. We feel helpless, but any dollar, anything we can give, maybe will reduce some amount of suffering, and that's our goal.
They served borscht, a Ukrainian beet soup with sour cream on top. They were able to raise $5,000 to help those in Ukraine. So much going on. That UN Security Council meeting. Basically, it's tough to get things done at the UN right now. Russia currently has the presidency of the UN, which rotates country by country every so often, every certain amount of months or years, however that actually works out, as you are looking live in Kiev, Ukraine right now. But it's one of those things where they do end their presidency on Monday, so these emergency meetings are happening right now. This is a live look. The UN ambassador from Ukraine still speaking at this hour. That's happening in New York while you're looking live in Kiev, where it is about 5:30 in the afternoon there. One of the big things that we've seen is the pushback against Russia. Formula One doing things, canceling Grand Prix, as well as the motorcycle, the World Rally Championships being canceled in Russia, as well as the pushback all over the country from Russian liquor, from Russian vodka. Our Sam Luther talked to one liquor store here in Knoxville who already banned their Russian vodka a couple years ago, back when Russia first started to take back Crimea.
At Bob's Liquor Store in Knoxville, you'll find just about everything, with one noticeable exception.
We felt like we had to take a strong stance against it.
In 2014, the owner, Bob, made a decision after Russia invaded Crimea.
He stopped selling Russian vodka at that point, and he's actually my stepdad. So when I took over for him, we took that same stance.
The policy in place 8 years later, clearly visible to customers with a sign at the front of the store. Smirnoff is sold there because it's made in the U.S., but popular brands like Stoli nowhere to be found. Russia's invasion of Ukraine reinforces the store's decision.
And who knew it was going to be so relevant today?
In Knox County, Sam Luther, WVLT News.
So we've seen that pushback against Russian brands all over the world. Just recently we heard FedEx suspending services into Russia and the Ukraine. They're doing that more out of safety for FedEx employees, and they will continue that and pick that back up once things settle down there, no matter which way it goes. We've also heard so far that Ukrainian officials and Russian officials had planned to meet in Belarus. That President Zelensky of Ukraine is calling for an immediate ceasefire and withdrawal of Russian troops. The president himself of Ukraine saying he did not expect much to come from that in terms of what what Russia would agree with. But it has just been a mess so far in terms of trying to get everything calm and everything settled down as far as the Ukrainians are concerned. So there you can see, still going is the ambassador to the United Nations from Ukraine, as an emergency meeting has been called at this hour. This is happening live as you're also looking at Kiev in the background, 5:30 there in the evening. So much happening day by day, but still a lot of officials saying that, you know what, Vladimir Putin and the Russians expected to take Kiev within one day. We are now on day 5, I believe, of everything happening overseas. We're going to continue to follow the latest updates minute by minute. We do know President Biden watching this. He's also got the State of the Union address coming up tomorrow. We expect some of this to be hit pretty hard there in what stance the United States will continue to take going forward. We did hear this morning that no United States troops, they keep hammering that home, no United States troops will step foot in Ukraine. They are there to help bolster the defenses of Poland and other neighboring countries, especially NATO allies. If you head over to the WVLT News app, to our website, WVLT.tv, you can see all the latest top headlines we've got from all the protests happening in downtown Knoxville over what is happening in Ukraine, the latest with FedEx, as well as our other top stories right now, including Pachki Deli opening their store, opening their doors early to be able to try to sell some food to send aid to Ukraine. Top stories happening right now. We will continue to keep you updated on the latest happening in Ukraine, with Russia advancing closer and closer to the capital of Kiev. They are apparently meeting in Belarus. We will let you know what happens there. I'm Harry Sullivan. We appreciate you joining us in the WVLT newsroom. We'll see you on WVLT News at noon.